Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm glad to
Good
see all
evening.
your shiny faces and all healthy.
Thankfully.
Myra's taking the attendance, so I'll know who it is here after the meeting. And the ones that I see now. Should we approve the minutes of February 22nd? Anyone have any questions on my minutes? Anybody read the minutes?
No,
A motion to approve or,
I move we approve the minutes.
okay,
Seconded.
thank you. And anyone against? And any abstentions? I guess it passes. I have just a few things that I just jotted down. I can do them now, or I can do them over after the budget issues. I think maybe we should do the budget first. Let me get my phone because I want to look at what 81 has. Okay, I still don't have much juice in here, but we'll see what happens. Okay, as far as 81, I haven't really read, but as far as we could put that on the split screen, Myra, please. It's been very difficult to get the schools to participate this year. Eric Dinowitz has discretionary money, and he is siphoning off some of my customers. I have found out today. So 24 PS 24 has well, let me start with the budget of the library. The only thing that they're asking for is the Spuyten Duyvil branch is supposed to get a full renovation, and the money doesn't really have anything to do with us, but they did give me the amount, the $24.3 million. And we'll have to see what OMB does with that. 24 gave me 10 issues that they wanted covered, but I only took 2 capital and 1 expense, and I did speak to Mr. Schwartz, the principal, and he was okay with it. One is the auditorium restoration, which hasn't been done, he says, about 50 years.
Wow.
And the bathrooms have been an issue for many years. We went on a tour. Rita, were you with us when we went
Recently.
to 24 a few years ago?
Oh, a few years ago, yes.
Yeah, and we saw the bathrooms. They didn't have any handles on the water
the doors.
control.
Oh,
The doors were not all there. The tiles on the walls were, some of them were gone. I mean, it was really,
it was horrendous.
they-
Horrendous.
Huh?
It was horrendous. A school should
It
not
is
be like that.
horrendous. Yeah. They have 15 bathrooms and they're all really in bad shape. And we saw that, that's quite a long time ago when Eric first came on the
Right.
community board. And nothing has been done since. And I don't understand what school construction does, because when they see something like that, right across the corridor from one of the bathrooms that goes down to the auditorium is the cold lunchroom. And or it's the hot lunchroom, one of the lunchrooms. And if the kid needs to go to the bathroom, they can't even wash their hands. I mean, it's really gross. But they haven't done anything in all those years. So I put it on. Supposedly, Eric also has it. And if I not mistaken, he had, when he got into the council last year, he did, dole out money. And I think the bathrooms were included, but I'm not sure, but I put it down again anyway. They're just going to turn it down anyway. And then
That's a
the
shame.
expense, oh, let me finish the capital. I spoke to the principal, a new principal at 368. And he said that he just dealt with Eric on 2 issues. And one was upgrading their library. And the other one was, oh, they have the safety hookup, the HD hookup for the cameras, but they don't have cameras. So I guess that they got a certain amount of money. They spent it on the hookup. Now they want the cameras. So I put that down. It's not on here, but I have it on my sheet that came in afterwards. 81 is complaining about their, they have been inundated with floods in their basement. They had the,
Wow.
the surrounded by the wooden covers for years and years and years. I mean, it's been really bad. I haven't read everything, but certainly I'm going to put that into the capital, unless you want me to read it now. But and then also I want to go over what was not funded last year to see if there is something that I want to repeat. One of them is that program at what's it called, Maria Curie, for the nursing room. I think that's such an important thing for them to have, and I might put
Definitely.
that back on. It wasn't funded, but who knows, maybe somebody will pick it up. And then
It's worth a try. It really is. That's an important thing
yeah,
with healthcare the way it is. I mean, there are jobs and jobs, and we need
Exactly.
people. We need
Yes, Sylvia, Judy, could I ask something?
of course.
Sylvia, from my memory, and of course, I was part of participatory budgeting.
Right.
You never got money. All the money that was, when you got your list, we turned it over to city council, and they are the ones that gave money. Have you ever received any money?
We as education, we have not, but
I
some of the
know.
other committees do.
But that's what I'm saying. So speaking to Eric, turning this over to Eric is not a bad thing.
No,
He is
no, it's a
now-
good thing.
Right,
But
he's now handling it.
Yeah, but Judy, the point of this is that we, according to what I've been told, this is a law that we have to go through this process.
I
They
think
don't
it's
have to
terrific.
pay us,
Yeah,
but
everything you got, we turned over. I turned that over to the city council, and we got a lot of it processed. Now
that's
Eric,
true.
right,
That's
and
true.
now Eric is taking over all of there's no more committees. He's handling the whole thing,
Mhm.
and it's terrific that he's giving them money.
Right, but the thing is that don't have to create a list if I'm doing it. So that's my contribution, is to reach out to the schools, make a
Right.
list, and then the council can look at it
Right.
and fund what they would like to fund.
But he is
So-
calling schools. From what I've been told, he is directly calling the schools.
And so am I.
Right, good.
So that's where we are. And I don't know of a better system because I cannot create things for the schools. They have to
Right.
know what they need on their own.
Right.
Some of the agencies, you can tell them what you want and they can either listen to you or not. But I can't do that with the schools. It's too specialized. You have to really be there. It's like in your home, you don't want someone coming in and saying you've got to, decorate whatever a certain
Right.
way.
Now, it's not just education. The libraries, we used to get money for the libraries as well. A lot
That's
of
a different funding.
participatory bu-
That's a
Now, a lot
different
of the money
funding
went-
source.
Excuse me?
That's a different a funding source.
But it's still whatever we got for participatory budgeting. We had a lot of money put into the libraries.
Yes. And I am doing the same thing.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
So as far as the expense is concerned, PS24 had, they have a garden in front of their building on Independence Avenue. And it's growing very nicely, and they want to transform it into a greenhouse, which is really nice for the children. So I put that down. I'm sure I would like somebody to pick it up, but I don't think that OMB is going to pay that. But it's a fun thing for the students. JFK had a garden that the children manned under the auspices of a teacher. And that was it. It's still there and it's beautiful. So why not start younger?
Sylvia, just
Don't
one more question. Since you've never had money and you have a list of things by each school, why are you eliminating any of them? Why not put them all on your report?
Well, the thing is that no school should have 10 items, whereas some of the other schools are not even putting money into it. I
But
think
why
it
not?
should be,
But
it,
I hear you, but it would be different if you were getting money, but you're not getting money. And if you put it on the list, Eric, who has the money, would be aware of it.
well, if he's calling the schools, he's aware of it too.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know, anyone else want to chime in on that? As far as that's concerned, I'd be happy to put all of them on, but I don't think it's fair.
This is step one. This has to go before the community board with the list of all the capital requests and all the expense requests, and they're not going to support 15, 20 education at the expense of parks, etc.
But my point is, they never support it. You never get money. So why eliminate any of these items? You never get money.
But some of the other committees do, and they should have, we are limited to a certain amount of capital items, and we're limited to express items. And David, who is on the call, can fill me in on that even more. But you don't want it to discount other committees and prevent them from being heard in lieu of one school wanting 10 items.
Sylvia, my point, you're not getting my point. Why
I
aren't
am
you
getting your
money?
point. I'm telling you that I can't do it.
Why aren't you getting money in the first place? Why all these years do we go through this and you never get money? What is the problem with giving you money?
But OMB has their certain rules and regulations
Their
that they are
priorities.
following.
they have priorities, I guess.
Sylvia,
seems to me-
David has his hand up.
Oh.
He might be able to answer. it.
David?
Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me, sorry. Yes, just a couple things to keep in mind. Again, participatory budgeting, which falls under the direct domain of the councilman, is separate from this capital and expense budget priorities process. And Sylvia is quite right in saying that there is a limit as to what we can do, as Marty was pointing out, while integrated with the other 8 or 10 operating committees of the community board. And so net of it all, the executive committee will be looking at all of them and presenting to the community and the community board a list, 2 lists of about 30 each capital and expense budgeting priorities. So no committee can, and these must be prioritized for parks, for sanitation, for education, transportation and transit. So we have to look at it as a community and contemplate lots of different factors. And clearly, education, libraries, and cultural affairs are very, very important. But we can't just throw a lot of stuff up on the wall just to say, okay, we're interested. Because if it doesn't make it into the top 30, it's going to be completely ignored. So we really do need to have each of the committees focused. And I think that Sylvia and Marty's comments are right on that point. I appreciate what you're saying, but Judith, but we do have to keep it all in context.
I see.
Okay, then I have 2 items for expense. One is the greenhouse for 24 instead of their garden. And the other, I want to put in again that we support the 6-day service for the libraries in our community. That probably will be done. However, I just want it to be mentioned again. So that basically is what I have. And are there any comments on what I went through besides Judy?
Hi, Moses here. Just a quick one. I just want to make sure I confirm the who was asking for the security actual cameras, was that 24? I was looking for the cameras
No,
to go
that's
with their
368.
268. Got it. No, that makes sense. Okay. You know?
That's
gotcha.
a school at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah, I remember. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. No, sounds good. Yeah, I think I remember-
It's
I think, yeah.
interesting because the school in front of it, which is PS 37, I had that on the security cameras on our budget priority
Yeah, that's
for
what I was
about
asking.
7 years.
Yeah.
And finally, Andy Cohen picked it up. But OMB never gave us anything. In fact, the principal left and it still was not done. So that's just the way the reality is with this process. So we have to go with it and do the best we can. And we want to help the schools as much as possible, but they can't be favored over any other committees. So
Makes sense.
whatever is in the 81 besides their the yard and things that they're complaining about, we're going to have a consensus on this in April at our meeting before we give it to David. So it might change a little bit, and certainly I will present it at that time and we'll can have another discussion about it. But that's as far as I've gotten so far. But it's like pulling teeth right now, so the best I can do.
Just one comment, Sylvia, isn't it fair to say that all things considered, that the councilman has done a rather good job of attending to education concerns?
He's done a marvelous job.
Okay,
He's
so-
an educator.
And that always helps. Yeah,
Right.
no, so I did, Judith, I just didn't want you to think that this committee is getting ignored. Your point's well taken about the history of these priorities, but it's quite clear that the council member has been quite attentive to education. in
I
this
know
past
that.
session.
I
Okay.
personally know that. I know Eric. He has taken over participatory budgeting. There are no longer committees, and he is putting money against the schools. But for 5 years, when I was on participatory budgeting, whatever we got on the education committee was turned over to the city council, and they used that list as one of the lists of things that were going to be dealt with. Of course, we had committees. We went through months of preparation for this. But of course, Eric is going to do a good job.
He did a great job at the end of, his first couple of months. He
Right.
really did.
Right.
Sylvia, you
And,
work very
the-
hard
the-
too.
The thing is that for a while, TNT used to put in more, just pointing a finger and as an eye opener, so that we went way over the amount of slots that we had. And that didn't get us anywhere either. So I think it's better to have quality than quantity. And I think everyone should be aware of what all the committees are doing and working together and not trying to step on each other's toes. Nothing to be gained by that. So we'll see what happens. Okay, that takes care of the budget. Some of the things that I came across, everybody knows that there's a sub variant BA2, and it is in New York already. But Mayor Adams is saying that in April, he's going to allow the 2- and 4-year-olds to be in school without masks.
Right.
I read a very interesting thing about the Queens College and LaGuardia College, which are both community colleges that are introducing the STEM program for underserved students. They deal with English language learners and special ed and regular students, but it's really an eye opener, and it's wonderful for the children to be able to have this exposure. And I'm going to kind of watch it and see where it goes. But it looks like it's a good thing. They say that childcare is going to be the next big ticket issue. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but that's all they did say. And only 50% of the students are vaccinated. They're going to start to demand it again, to mandate it. I guess the parents are not really behind it. Therefore, it isn't going very quickly. And the budget, during the pandemic, Mayor de Blasio continued to give money to the schools based on their previous enrollment, even though they weren't in school and the numbers were different, and all that money was given anyway. Now, being that we are kind of coming out of the pandemic and we're in front of another budget situation, they're cutting the education budget to more represent the kind of enrollment that they have. So there will be some tightening of the belt. At one point, I read something about the federal government giving money. It was not in this article, so I don't know if that's going to happen, but Chancellor Banks said that it's going to be painful that they have to cut the budget. 120,000 families were lost during the pandemic that moved away or changed their school preference, and not the public schools. So that really makes the difference in the money that they're entitled to at this point. And mayor control. The charter schools are in their lottery system mode right now. They don't have any entrance exams or any criteria for their admittance to the charter schools. It's all done by lottery. So they are in that process now. And that's about it. That's all I have. Okay, does anyone want to bring anything up at this point? Oh, there's a hand, Sebastian.
Hi, Sylvia. Good evening.
Good
What
evening.
about the summer rising expansion that the mayor announced
The what?
for the summer rising? This is the summer program for the schools. Last year, we had it in New York City, but it was not that effective. But there was a news that mayor is expanding that program this year.
Do you mean the jobs for the students?
No, the summer rising program.
No, I don't know anything about that.
Okay, so this is the summer school program that Mayor de Blasio started last year.
Uh-huh. I have no information on that, but I can look into it for you.
Yeah. So this was started last year, and then it was not that effective. For example, the students were not able to attend the school that they regularly attend. They have to go to some other schools, sometimes far away. So I don't know how the program is going to be implemented this year, because last year's implementation was not that great. Most parents pulled the kids out after a couple of weeks.
Right,
including
and
me.
I think that I remember in that program that we were on remote learning, and many of the
No.
children, no, that's not the one?
No, it was in person.
That was in person. I'm
Yeah,
not
it was
familiar
in
with that.
person, but the I don't know, it was not transparent who got to attend the schools that they regularly attend or which schools they were assigned to. So the mayor announced that program is going to be expanded this year.
Uh-huh,
So I just wanted to bring it up. We do not know how the implementation is going to be, but last year's was very poor, and it was not planned, and most parents ended up pulling the kids out of the program after a
Right.
couple of weeks.
right. Well, I'm sure that as we get closer to summer, that will be brought up again.
Okay.
And I'll keep my eyes open and let you know in April if I find out something.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, the Mitzvah project. I have been in touch with the two principals. Unfortunately, both principals got the information that Myra sent with the video and the student guide and the teacher guide and all of the really good stuff went into their spam. They are now, only because I'm questioning it, they're finding it. We did send it again to RKA, to Ms. O'Mara, and I tried to get her today, but I have not been able to get her. It's very hard to get the principals. And I did speak to Mr. Weisberg at 368, and he just found it in spam. And he said that he was going to check on it and get back to me. So it hasn't really gone anywhere. It's just like one step forward and three back. It isn't moving very quickly, but I think that eventually, Mr. Weisberg said that he had a few social studies teachers that were interested in the program. So, you know, he's going to inform them of what we sent also, so they will come up with a decision as to what they're going to do with it. Hopefully, it will be a go, and that Mr. Grunwald will be able to do it. And basically,
So
that's all
Sylvia,
I have.
as far as Mitzvah Day, Riverdale Temple, right in the neighborhood, does a Mitzvah Day every year. And a lot of the kids from RKA and 368 sign up to come to the temple, bag clothing, help do midnight run, you know, get together all kinds of toiletries for homeless men. And they do a lot of volunteer work, and the students will be invited again to come. So that will be an extra mitzvah, as they say.
Yeah, right.
Get the community involved.
Right. So it would, what grades are these children from?
Most of them are high school, but sometimes they'll take the middle school kids if they're interested.
Uh-huh.
They have to get
Because
there on their own.
this
sorry?
mitzvah project is really meant for high school.
Right, your program's a
Uh,
little bit different, but this is in addition to your program.
No, it is. It's a good addition.
Yeah,
It falls right into it.
they have the
Very
kids
good.
do gardening, they make plants and they bring it to Chervier to the nursing home. They pack up food for Church of the Mediator and bring food over there. It's a very multi-ethnic, multi-racial, multi-everything. And it's just a
Right.
nice thing to do for the community.
That's
I'll
great.
send you information when I get more from the temple.
Please do. Yeah.
Sure,
I'm
okay, thanks.
interested.
And thanks for all your hard work, really.
Somebody has to do it, right?
I know, but you're good.
Um. Is Myra?
Yeah.
Is there there are some girls that come from Link Literacy. Are they
Mhm.
on today? They always sign in Link Literacy.
Yes, Araceli Fortier.
They're not there?
No, she's here. Gladys Gomez.
Hmm.
from
Yeah, she was here
Lincoln.
last time.
Yeah, I think those.
I would
be-
love to, how do I get, oh, there she is.
Mhm.
This is Ara Cully.
Araceli.
Hello, how are you? Yes, I'm Marissa.
Good. You're
good,
with the Link Literacy, aren't you?
Yes, actually, two of my colleagues are here too, Ama Canete and Gladys Gomez.
Right, and I see that you're faithful every month, and I would love to know what your program is all about.
Sure,
Would you be able to tell us?
sure. I'll start and then Gladys can step in. She's the one that goes more to these meetings to represent our organization. I'll tell you a little bit because I've been with Link for 8 years, but I'm also a resident from the community. I was raised in this community from the age of 5. So I'm very well aware of all the things that are happening and the changes. So our organization basically helps and support parents to enrich literacy in their home. As we know, not a lot of children like to read. So what we do, we engage the parents. We train them to become literacy advocates in the community and change what is a routine reading at home. We know the importance that it has and the changes that it could create. So we've been very, very successful in getting mommies, daddies, grandparents trained by the organization and them also facilitating programs out in the community. Our programs are usually bilingual. And now through the pandemic, we were able to support a lot of the families in all 8 communities through our virtual programs that we do through Zoom, where we basically host parent workshops that have to do like with social emotional workshops and a lot of different other topics. But we also do read alouds, where we read a book to the children. We do arts and craft. We also share parent tips, and we share other programs or resources that exist in our community.
And what is the name of the organization that you work with?
It's Literacy Inc. Link for shortness. Everybody knows that
Yeah, I
organization.
looked it up on the computer and they had mostly adult literacy. I didn't really see anything for the children. Do you work with the schools themselves?
Yes, so there is another literacy organization called Literacy Inc., but we have the separation with Link. That's what separates us from that organization that does deal more with adults. But yeah, we have worked inside the schools doing parent workshops, attending PTA meetings, also recruiting the parents to train them to become very involved parents in the community, where they do a 3-day session for 2 hours. They train to get tools on how to benefit their children's at home and children's in the community and engage them through a book, right? We were very fortunate to have Mr. Dinowitz read in one of our programs at the Church of the Mediator over the summer. So he is very well aware of Literacy Inc. And we are very happy that he has supported us. And also Mr. Cohen also used to support us a lot in the community.
Uh-huh. Literacy is very important. That's something that went on the wayside when the pandemic was on because the children were not learning to read.
Yes.
The remote learning was very difficult for many of the children and they are way behind now. And are you mentoring any of the children?
So what we do again is like we go through the parents. We know that the first teacher for the children are the parents. So we try to engage them first and then have them be able to transmit that love for reading at home through the things they learn with us, of course. We've worked with the Marble Hill Community Center. When I first started, I had a program with the seniors where we had children from the 2nd grade of PSO 7 walk over and have an hour of reading. They will read together. I also work with the Kingsbridge Library. We're gonna start up our pajama night. That's every last Thursday of the month, where everybody dresses in their PJs and we do a read aloud, we do some craft, and every child walks away with a free book.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
That's
we've also
very
worked
nice.
with Kingsbridge Heights Community Center during the pandemic. We did private sessions for them of read alouds for each classroom. And at the end of the month, every parent that would support us by being on screen with their children and practicing everything we're showing them, they will get a free book. So they got a pretty good collection of books. We believe that the children should have their own library at home, and that's why
Right.
we give free books to the families every time they participate in our programs.
That sounds wonderful. That will certainly turn on some of the kids.
Oh yes, definitely. And we see the change. So we had those
Uh-huh.
children that didn't like reading to now asking the parents that they want to read for us. I had a very great program at the PS7 playground before the pandemic, where our parents that were trained had read alouds for the families every Friday at 1. It went from parents reading to children to then parents and their child reading to the community. So the parent will read in English, and I mean Spanish, and the children were reading in English the same book. So
Uh-huh.
it was a great change to see.
Right. Well, that's good for the ego of the child for sure.
Oh, yes. So if I can, I'll have Gladys speak a little bit. Gladys, if you can open your mic and share a little bit of information. And I just want to give you thank you for the opportunity of having us here. And definitely.
I have been meaning to do this a couple of meetings ago because I keep seeing your names. And I did look it up and I wasn't getting anywhere. So I just thought I would put you on the spot. I'm sorry about that.
No,
I
it's
didn't
okay.
know where to reach you. So, I couldn't really give you a heads up or anything like that, but I
No,
think
it's
it's very
okay.
interesting.
we're always ready. And, we usually, in other meetings we have a chat, so we start sharing our email, in our website. So find us better through that way. But yeah, definitely I can share it. Maybe send it in the email of the invite I get every month because of my information there.
Mhm. And Gladys, what is her role?
Thank
She
you
does
so
what
much,
you
Madam
do,
Chair.
or?
There she goes.
So,
Go ahead,
yeah,
Gladys.
I'm right here. Hi. Yeah,
Hi.
so great. So, good evening, all. Thank you so much. So my name is Gladys Gomez, and I am the Community Engagement Specialist for Kingsbridge and Fordham. And like Araceli said, we do go ahead and work in the neighborhood and are around. We thank you so much for the time and would love to go ahead and get on your agenda next time, where we can give you a little bit more insight on the programs that we have.
Good, wonderful. Did you say there was a third person? No? Well,
Yeah,
thank
we
you
have
for filling us.
we have Alma Canete, but I'm sure right now she can unmute. But definitely, like Gladys said, if you put us on your agenda, she can definitely put up a presentation and go through all the programs that we have.
I'd be happy to put you on the agenda.
Great.
Now that, I just need some contact information for you. We don't have a way of getting it. Can you give me some information or a telephone number or something where I can reach you?
Sure, Gladys, do you wanna?
Sure. Do you prefer our emails or do you prefer phone number? We could do either.
Well, is it easy to get you on a phone?
So I'll start with my email. It's G as in girl, OMEZ at link, LINC.NYC.org. So G Gomez at linknyc.org.
Okay. Great. So I'll reach out to you.
Well, no, thank you so very much again for that time, Madam Chair.
Oh, thank you for coming. You've been sitting here quietly all this time and you had a lot of information for us. I'm glad I did call on you.
No, thank you. We always like to respect. We don't know when we can speak, so we like to respect that we're called and we definitely speak up. But thank you again.
Right. I'm glad I did it. Peter. Peter, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. How
Oh.
are you guys?
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Not a
You
lot
have,
of info from the library right now, other than we've changed our masking policy. So masks are no longer required. They're encouraged. So if you go into a library right now, you might see people without masks on. It's okay. We've had some people who are a little taken aback by that. We're still having in-person programs. We're still having people come in and browse, class visits, all of the stuff you can find on our website. I don't want to go through it because I've told you guys this stuff so many times.
Right.
But the big thing is you can come in. If you want to take your mask off for a bit, you can, and you're not going to be told to put it back on.
That's good. I know
And
that
that's
all
about
the
it.
branches are now open. They can be
Mhm.
used.
Yeah,
And I made
yes.
that mistake on one of my minutes on, I think, the January meeting, which
Yeah.
you reported and I misinterpreted.
Thank
But
you.
they're
Thank
all
you.
open.
We're all open. We're all having in-person programs. We're all having class visits. People are back, and it's great.
Great. That's wonderful. Thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime. Is there any old business that anyone wants to bring up? Any new business? And I think that does it for me as far as the meeting is concerned.
Sylvia,
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring something up. I don't know if you want to get involved. I'm a member of the League of Women Voters, and they are going around. I haven't heard that anyone from Riverdale has contacted them, but they're doing voter registration at the high schools. They're coming into the different schools. So that's very interesting. The schools are now organized enough, not necessarily here in Riverdale, but in other I know that Truman High School has had a meeting of them. I've been involved in voter registration a couple of years back. We did it at RKA and we did it at Intech. But, you know, that's something that we might want to get involved with.
I don't know that that's something that we should get involved with. I think
Okay.
that there are so many people that are doing it, especially the League of Women Voters.
Right.
You
I'm
know,
just bringing it up, letting you know that that's something
no,
that's
that's
being
great.
done.
That's great. I did read a disturbing article in the newspaper this evening about our Russian mission. It's not educational, but it's disturbing. Richie Torres wants to have the FBI investigate them. That's really in our backyard.
That, you mean the white building? The red?
Yeah,
building?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. It's disturbing to me. I don't know that those are the Putin people. I don't know that they're spies, but he seems to think that it might be. And he's putting it out there that the FBI should investigate them.
Wow.
That's near you, Marty. What do you think about that?
My first thought is to go back that when the Russian mission, when the Soviet mission wasn't big enough, we had Soviets living in Skyview. And there
Yes.
was an investigation and many spies were caught and arrested.
Were they
Wow.
So it
really?
doesn't surprise me.
Mhm. Yep,
Oh,
They
I
were,
didn't
they
know
were.
that.
yes, there
You would
were.
know that because you
years
live
ago.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, I think they should be investigated too, because I agree with Marty that a few years ago, I think there were 6 or 8 people arrested from there as spies. I've been down there protesting every single Sunday in support of Ukraine. So I hope to see more people. The demonstrations are 4 p.m. every Sunday until this is over.
Well, look for my wife. She's there.
Okay, I will. Tell her to look for
Can't
me.
walk the distance.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. That's interesting. I didn't know that at all.
Mhm.
There's one guy there every day with a flag. You can't
Yep.
miss him.
Really?
Who's the woman who sits at the monument all the time?
Yeah,
she's
that-
the
that-
Black Lives Matter. She's,
Oh, okay.
they're representing BLM.
I think she says justice for all, her sign.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
She's out there no matter how cold,
all the
rainy, windy.
time. Yeah,
I
yeah.
once offered her a ride, or I said I would buy her coffee and whatever, and she wasn't interested.
Mhm.
It's like she's a martyr, I don't know. God bless her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She used to write letters in the Riverdale Press. She's an
Oh, did she? Yeah.
activist. Yeah, and I guess, I don't know if she's doing it only on her own or if she's part of a group. I really don't know. I don't know the woman.
Mm.
But she has surfaced, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
she's a regular.
Yeah, she's a regular. Yeah.
This may be too political, but I'm looking forward to Richie Torres representing us.
I think it's great. I mean, you know, he is taking, he's a hands-on person and we need people like that. I went once to a budget hearing over in Community Board 12. And he was just a district manager at that time. He's really a go-get-it guy. So I think that I agree with you that we're lucky to have him. Okay, that was a good one. So a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second,
Second.
Okay, well, it passes. Anyone against?
No, stay here all night.
No, you all want to go have dinner or something, right? Thank you all for attending tonight. I think it
Thank
was a
you.
great meeting. This afternoon, I thought that I didn't have a meeting, but it turned out that I was wrong, and I'm very happy about that. So thanks a lot, and see you next month. if
Take
not
care.
before.
Thanks,
Thank
Ollie.
you. Good night,
Okay.
everybody.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.
Bye.
Night.